Hello class, today we'll be looking at modeling fraction by whole numbers multiplications. So for example here we have 3 times 1/4. The first thing that the model that we're using today is the area model. The first thing you want to do is you want to draw 3 by 1/4. The first thing you do is you have to multiply or draw a diagram like this. So you have 3 by 1/4. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to have 3 by 1. So this is 3. This is where the 3 comes from. And here we have 1. Out of the whole number is going to be we can use it on top. If you use that always, that would just make things easier to put the whole number on top. The fraction, if you put that on the side, so now we have 1/4, not just 1. So what we need to shade is we need to shade the 3 and the 1/4 and see where they intersect. So the 1/4, the reason why well, you have to draw 1 and then you break it down into quarters. So you have 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4, which make a 1. So what we're shading, let's use different colors. For the 1/4 we're going to be using green, and let's use red for the 3. So 3 is the whole thing, right? So what we have is, what we count is the area in common, which in this case the area in common is this one right here. So how much is each one of those? Each one of those is 1/4 by 1, which is 1/4. So we have 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. So the answer would be 3/4. Okay, the area shaded by both factors. Remember, factors are the numbers multiplied together. So so this is the product, or 3/4. So let's look at another example. This example here, modeling fraction by, again, whole numbers multiplications, and in this case we have 4 multiplied by 2/5. So when we draw it again, we're going to have 1 here. This is going to be out of 1, and this is going to be the whole 4. So this is the fraction. So the drawing is going to be looking like this. So here we have the whole thing here is 1, and the whole thing here is 4. Okay, so each one is broken down into the one is broken down into fifths, and we have 2/5 here. And this one I'm gonna actually be using a pencil, kind of like a pencil marker, so just to show you what it should look like on paper. So the easiest thing to do here is for the 5, I'm gonna shade them diagonally this way. So for the fifths, we have 1/5 for each one of those squares. And here, those 2 would be the 2/5. Okay, so now let's shade those diagonally the other way. So if we shade them this way, and we go across. Okay, so again we're shading the area that is shaded by both is going to be our answer. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and each one of those is a fifth because it's 1/5 times 1. That's why we call this the area model, because we found the area of each one of those squares and it's 1 on one side and 1/5. So the area of a rectangle is the length times the width, which is in this case 1/5 for 8 of them. So 8/5 is the answer. And don't forget to always simplify. So that would be 1 and 3/5. The way to do this, if you forgot, would be 8 divided by 5. You have 1 there, by 5 you subtract, you end up with 3. That's your remainder. The remainder goes on top, the numerator. The number on top here is going to be your whole number, and 5 is the denominator. So the answer would be, you can do both steps, 8 over 5, and also 1 and 3/5, which should be your final answer, the simplified version.